Hey, wood turners, I'm Captain Eddie Castelin. You're almost, pardon me, I'm all choked up over this. You're almost in the shop. Yep, got some things to talk about. I got a list, some things to run down, some stuff to tell you. And I got to remind you one more time that SWAT 2017 is the last weekend in August. You got to go. All right? But right now, all you got to do, you know the deal. You got to watch. Okay, now we settled in. I'm still on the porch. I'm not quite in the shop. Now, I'm going to explain that for just 1 minute if you don't mind. 3 years ago, this month, I had a brain tumor. And no big deal. It was about golf ball size. But it was right in the front of my brain. And it was putting pressure on the rest of my brain. Had some great doctors at Oshner Medical Center here in New Orleans come take care of me. And they removed the brain tumor. Well, things didn't go exactly like they planned it. And it didn't heal up. And they had to go back in and take it out again. Or fix whatever was wrong. You know, when you open the hood and go back and the dipstick didn't get put in the right spot, you know that deal. Alright, so they put all the parts back in. That knocked me into a coma. That kept me off my feet, literally off my feet, for 6 months. Well, I learned how to work my hands, talk, and I had to learn how to walk all over again. And that was 2.5 years ago before I could start walking on my own. Really, but I had to have a walker or a cane. Well, still today I need a cane or a rolling walker, which I've got granny Gertie, and I'll roll with it. So I've got those things. But what we never understood is that I'm waiting for those old reflexes and synapses or whatever you call them to come back for me to remember. And really, I was not kidding. Tim and the guys I went and saw up in New England the two weeks before the diagnosis, I don't remember anything. I only remember Tim because he sent me a Facebook and said, "Hey, I'm Tim," and I saw the picture of him and said, "I know that guy. Yeah, I spent a week in his house." Now I really can't tell you where, but it was up that way, above Washington, D.C. But I'm waiting all this time for things to come back. Well, I was told yesterday by a really good doctor, it ain't coming back. When that ball grew in my head, and I believe it was caused from Agent Orange, but when that ball grew in my brain, it collapsed some parts of my brain that won't uncollapse. And that's why I lost all the names for all my grandkids. They all happened in that gap, in that period. There are some things I can't remember that I did when I was working with the architectural firm. I don't remember them at all. But I'll see them now and I'll say, wow, I know about that place. I sat at a light the other day with my wife, management, and I said, that building's familiar. And she said, you worked on it. I said, really? And then she told me what it was. And I said, wow, that's going to be a really cool operation. It's the Emergency Operations Center for New Orleans. And that's where to do the 911 at. I built that place. I don't remember a lot about it. But in dreams, I can start picking back up on some things. So, sometimes when you talk to me and ask me about things, and it takes me a minute to remember names or references, or I say, you need to ask for such and such, I'm just explaining, that's what happens. Names go away quickly. And I used to be Mr. Phone Book. If I dialed your phone number one time, I had it. It was locked in with you. It was in that file. File got damaged, it won't come out again. So that's what happened there. So sometimes when it seems like I'm repeating myself or saying a thing over and over again, or sometimes it'll sound like I'm repeating myself or saying the things over and over again, see how that happens? It's because some of the short-term memory won't fire off. So please, give me a little slack. I'm doing the best I can, really, to help you get into wood turning and enjoy it. Talking about that, a couple of weeks ago we got an order. We sell carbide cutters. Management sells carbide cutters. I'm just here I'm the lackey. She sells carbide cutters. A couple of weeks ago, we got an order in of 8mm rounds. That's the small rounds for the little finishing tools and things like that. They weren't right. They just weren't right. We shipped them back to the manufacturer. It took 2 weeks for us to get them to the plant. It didn't get through the gap in the language. I swear, I would have studied German if I knew more, if I knew this was going to happen. But we suffered through the linguistics of it and explained something wasn't right. They had somebody look at them. You're darn right it wasn't right. They never got polished out. And they get polished out to make them sharp. So we crapped that whole stockpile because there was another 1,000 sitting right there ready to go that had been proved. So, you see, when you complain, I complain. When I complain, something gets done. So if you got a problem with what I gave you, tell me about it. I'll fix it. I will fix it. But we have the 8mm cutters. They're back in. So we got a full stock of everything that's listed on our website. It's all available. It's all here. It's all now. So just want to let you know. We do go to work on that stuff. We work on it quite well for you. Now, I'm supposed to be in the shop today. We've had nothing but rain in South Louisiana. And I was feeling bad this morning about the water. Then I looked at Clay and the guys over in Houston. They're swimming to work. Wow, man. Mother Nature's not being kind to any of us, is she? But then that's the cycle of life. As long as you can handle the cycle of life, you're all right. I really feel for you folks that lost a lot in floods. I have too. So I'm not saying, oh, get over it. It's just water. It's not just water, it's your life. And you can't get over your life, you got to get out alive. So perk it up one. Keep going. I'm supposed to be in a shop showing you how to sharpen a skew. I get a lot of calls by guys who want to switch from conventional tools to carbide tools. I want to get this straight out. I'm a pretty darn good, not a damn good, a darn good wood turner. I learned how to turn wood by learning how to use my tools because my mentor, a guy named O.B. Lacoste, who was formerly of Lafayette, Louisiana, who was formerly of our world, he's moved on. O.B. learned to turn when he was in his 60s. And he learned to turn by learning the tools and how they work because there was no internet for O.B. and there was no club and there was no place to go and all this. So he just had to get out and fiddle with the tools and figure out what made him cut. And he didn't read the book that came with the Stanley lathe or the Delta lathe or the Milwaukee or He didn't read that book, because it showed the 8 basic tools that are in the kit that everybody gets. There's a couple of those tools I have in the shop. I'd like to call them out one time and ask you, what is this for? Because I can't figure out what they did or what they were made to do. A lot of traffic today. All right. But listening to OB, I took my tools and went out and learned what the tools did. Now, what I'm saying is you got to bear with me because this is how you do that. You chuck up some junk wood. Junk wood. Not. Don't go get pallets and break them up. That's not good. Get some pine, get some ash, get some oak, get some walnut. Just pieces. And chuck them up. Put them between centers. And then play with your tools and figure out how the tool does the best cut. And I wish I could be on a lathe showing you this, but that's not come back yet. And I'm working on it though. If you just plow that tool into it, it's going to move wood because it's wood versus steel with speed in between. Now, if all of us made it through 7th grade physics, you understand. Wood, spinning, steel, something's given. All right. You see these guys on TV and they stick that tool in there. I used to do something called a popcorn stick. I would put a ice cream stick, rubber band, or I'd actually put them on with super glue across the blade of the tool so you can see what position the tool is in when you're working with it. And many of us don't look at that and don't understand that. If I take a gouge and I go straight in on a piece, I'm going to move something. Because why? The steel is harder than the wood. And if you can hold the wood, it'll move. All right? But it's going to look torn up, beat up, torn out. It's going to have cavities. It's going to look like a young kid's face. It's really going to look rough. But same tool, work with me now. Same tool, I roll it up on its side a little bit to where that cutter is coming in. I see I'm doing a little 45 right here. I have an ice cream sticks out here to show you. But you see, I'm coming on an angle and make that cut. I'm slicing wood. There's a great wood turner out there, and I said earlier I can't do names, but the guy would talk about coming to do a demonstration on wood slicing. And I brought this to the guys in the club one time, so I got this guy. And somebody said, we don't want him, we want a wood turner. Because all he's doing is like carving, because he calls it slicing. Exactly, but he's carving at 3,000 RPMs. He's slicing wood at 3,000 RPMs. He's cutting wood at 3,000 RPMs. And he's doing it because he's learned how that tool works and how it cuts best. So if you want to learn how to use a tool the best, chunk up a piece of wood, get out and play with it, and look for the finest cut. I'm not talking about the cut where you rub the bevel to the nth degree and burnish the wood. That's not a good cut. I'm talking about one that's been sliced off. And I've got videos showing that in some places. That's why I adopted the Ellsworth Adversarial grind and it's done on my Black Hawk grinding rig. It's got 2 posts. You grind the back one, the one furthest out, is where you put it to grind the Ellsworth grind. Then you step up a little bit, step down a little bit, and you remove the back. See, you got a cutter coming out like this. And you're sharpening this edge. And you got all this bevel. Well, you don't need all that bevel. Bevel doesn't do a lot for you. You need some of it. So if you leave 1/8 of an inch of it up here, you can work with that. That's what Ellie Avicera taught me. He made it seem so simple that he didn't even harp on it when he was demonstrating. And we were there at the class I took with Ellie at Aramont, great place. And I asked him, I said, why'd you do that? And he said, because I don't need that to be in my way. I said, but it's bevel. And he says, it will never ever be there in my way. I don't cut what I sharpen with. That didn't make a lot of sense, but he was right. When he put that tool up there, he sharpened this edge. He didn't sharpen this edge. He sharpened this edge because it removed that edge. Now it might sound confusing, and it may be, but I got some stuff out there on it, and I plan on doing more. But you only cut with that front 1/8 of an inch of blade, and you can stabilize that because you're not fighting that rest of that bevel. I'm supposed to be showing you how to sharpen a skew. Did I wander any bit? I did wander. Okay. The skew is sharpened. Boy, it's going to be hard to do. Here's your skew. That's a 90-degree point. That's 90 degrees. Miss Patterson taught me that in 7th grade. That's 90. I don't want 90. I want that to be 22 to 25 degrees. Total. Measure it with a little protractor. I can get over at Home Depot. You can slide it on and you can read the angle. The one you bought, the one you got, the one that came out the kit, the one Uncle George sold you, that's not 22 to 25 degrees. It's going to be a lot blunter than that. It's going to be closer to that 90 degree thing or whatever. And they're going to tell you, it gives you a better cut. No, it doesn't. The 20-25 degree gives you a better slice. So if you grind it, you get a little bull nose on it, you can learn how to twist that tool and get it just to that cutting edge. And how do you learn that? Remember that junk piece of wood we own on the machine? That's where you can learn it at. Don't do it on a pen kit. Don't do it on another kit from somebody. Don't do it on a gorgeous piece of wood. Do it on something that you won't mind messing up a little bit and then throwing it into the wood pile. Or one that you do so nicely, you nail it up on a wall to remind you that's what it's supposed to look like. Because if you got to start sanding at 40 grit paper, and they do make 40 grit paper, and come up from there, you're not cutting the wood. You're not slicing the wood, pardon me. You're moving the wood. So I want to show you how to sharpen that skew, and it'll come out really, really nice. And you'll be able to learn how to work with it. And learning how to work with it is the key. You have to stop and work with it. A guy named Tom Edelman out of Jackson, Mississippi called me the other day. And we talk. Yeah, here it is. See that? You rarely catch me without this thing. This is Lifeline of Big Eye Productions. This is where we make our magic happen, right here, on the telephone. Tom Edelman called me. We talked for a long time. Talked about cutters, bars, making tools and all. About a week later, because get this, we use the post office, and it could take up to a week. If I pay too much for postage to get it to you faster, that price I have, which is the best in the world, is going to change. That's why the other guy said $16 for a cutter. And that much, you can pay $4 to ship it. I can't pay $4 to ship a $4 cutter. No, can't work. But Tom Edelman called me a couple days later. He said, Cap, you walk on water, bud. So what do you mean? And I had on speakerphone. I was riding with the wife. She was driving. And we're listening to it. And Tom said, I got these cutters. I love these cutters. They're making most of my work awesome. And I said, let me ask you something, Tom. Are you making a lot of your rough cuts with this? And then you come back and fine-tuning it? Yeah, I found out I can do this. Then I can take my skew and blade off that edge, and it comes off so nice. Or I take my gouge and redo the corners and stuff. I said, not much effort for great work, huh? Loved it. So Tom, Jackson, Mississippi, I owe you, buddy. I owe you as much as you think you owe me. That's it. And yesterday I had a long talk, 10 minutes with Dave and Lou Schweitzer. Dave and Lou Schweitzer are up in, I think it's Oregon. They're on the other end of the world from me. I'm outside of New Orleans. All right. It's d-way-tools.com. D-way, here. See this? D-way tools. This guy makes wood turning tools. But get this, he's a wood turner. Yeah, I know. Sounds strange, doesn't it? An actual wood turner making and selling wood turning tools. It's not like he was in this business and took up wood turning. He had wood turning and took up this business. That's how I did it. Talked to Dave and Lou. They're still chugging along. She's much better. She was ill for a while, but she's better. Dave's doing great. He's old and mean, but hey, that happens. But if you're looking for questions, or you have questions about wood turning tools, go to dwaytools.com. Send him a note. Go to contact us, and there comes up his phone number, and you can call. I thought I had it here. I don't have his phone number, but it's easily available. You can call Dave and tell him what you're looking for. Get this. When you call Dave and Lou, you're talking to the people that make the tools and use the tools. You're not talking to some cute little Bombi that is answering the telephone for a big corporation up in wherever. That's not happening. You're talking to a guy that knows about it. So if you say, Dave, look, I want that 3/8 inch bowl gouge that Captain Eddie uses, he'll know you're talking about a 3/8 inch deep U bowl gouge, sort of called the Ellsworth gouge. And Dave can sharpen it. He'll send it to you sharp, but it'll have the right grind on it and everything. It's awesome. I changed skews, gouges, rough and gouge, detail tools, and something else I have back in the shop. And I changed them all over to what Dave has. And it's not a sponsorship thing. I don't have Dave D-Way Tools on my shirts or anything. No. But you know why I did it? Because the guy knows his tools. And if I had a problem, I can pick up the phone and say, Dave, I got a problem. Dave can answer the problem. Help you out in a heartbeat. Really can work that way. You see, that's where we have to get along. We have to get along with the fact that I'm a wood turner and I sell these tools. I don't sell anything I won't use. I won't sell anything I don't have in my shop. And I don't believe in selling you just to make a sale. No. I came from a family of people who came from the Depression period. My dad was put out of school in 5th grade. And it wasn't this, any nice thing. It was, you're trouble, we don't need you here. Really. And it was the teacher that became my high school principal that put him out. He learned at 13 years old how to go out and make a living. Not to go out and steal. Not to go out and connive anybody. He realized you have to go out and make your customers happy in order to make a living. And that's what he instilled in us. My dad passed away, he was a milkman. The door-to-door milkman. Jumping off that Heisted truck every day, running up and putting the milks on your doorstep. That's what my dad did. He raised 5 kids in a little house in Castelin, which is right up in New Orleans. And he taught us, whatever you put out, you will get back. So what I'm putting out to you is what I want back. I respect you, I won't lie to you, I won't connive you. I've had people call and order things, be unhappy with them. So unhappy we can't make them happy. They still got the goods. We refunded the money and said, apparently we can't do what you want us to do. I'm sorry about that. But a lot of times it's the learning curve. They didn't learn how to make the tools work. They don't understand how to make the tools work. Essentially, they can't make the tools work. And they're looking for those miracles that come off the internet. Those miracles don't come every day. They come along as you generate them. I want to get all profound and everything, but really, you get what you put out too. So, if we can help you, it's right there. It's right there. Call the phone number. Well, let me know what you need. You want to order it? Order it with me on the telephone. I'll take your call. I'll call you back. We'll do what's needed. Had a guy call me yesterday. He had questions about 6 or 8 cutters. All bottom line, he's going to stick with his high-speed steel. He's going to learn how to sharpen them. He's going to give a little taste of carbide and see how it works out. Why? Because he understands how his tools work. And if I explain more about it, and I explain how to sharpen them, what he needed, and then he saw, pardon me, that happens 3 times in a row. When he saw the YouTube videos on sharpening and different cuts, then he understood how they were making it. So if you need a problem, no. If you have a problem, you can let me know, okay? You need a problem, call me, I got them too. All right. Now, my last item is, and if you don't want to hear about it, tune us out. Go away, it's all right. But I'm going to talk about SWAT. And I'm not talking about that truck pulled up with those 5 policemen. No, that's not SWAT. They're here to get me, but that's not it. SWAT, Southwest Association of Turners. It is a group of groups. There's no main organization with a CEO and all the. They don't have all those people paid. They have directors. They have organizers. They have a president. They also have about 30 clubs involved. And where do they get their drive? From those clubs. Where do those clubs get their drive? From you. So if you're a member of one of those clubs, or a friend of yours is a member of one of those clubs, they're driving the bus on this. So what do? The world's finest symposium on wood turning. The world's finest. I ain't cutting any slack. They're going to have over 1,000 people in Waco, Texas, the last weekend of August. And they're all together. And you want more details? Right here. SWAT Turners. Watch how it's spelled. .org. O-R-G. Go there and look it up. It'll list out all the demonstrators. It'll list out all the exhibitors. And you talk about exhibitors, they got people from everywhere in the world. They're selling, Ruth now is there, the bottle stoppers. Thompson's there with his tools. My sandpaper guru, Vince Welsh. JT Tools. Ron Brown. I'm just trying. Remember, I have a problem with names. I'm going to try and run down a name of all these people that are there. And they're selling goods, but then they could also be involved in a demonstration, which has got some national, regional, and club-based demonstrators. That's where I learned how to do super glue finishing, or begin to learn how. Then I understood what was happening, looked deeper into the math of it and the science of it, and could understand that my brother-in-law can't tell me how to do that. And my brother-in-law can't take what I'm telling him and make it better. See, the deal is, there are people that see it and see, I'm going to go to super glue finish. I use the very thin 03 from Starbond. I like these people. They're nice folks. I use their 03, real thin. The guy came in last year, he says, you know, if you change over to Bob's and you get his medium thick, you can do the same finish. No, I can't. No. I know I can't. The product is radically different. The use is radically different. The finish is radically different. Is it easier? Yeah, maybe. Is it what I want? No. What I want is a very thin, light, grain exposing, sealing finish that I can put on an ink pen or a bottle stopper or a yo-yo or anything like that, or a bowl and vessels and jars and ornamental work. You know, I can put this finish on there and it's bulletproof. I swear, I think I can shoot at some of these things and the bullets bounce off. It's bulletproof. No oil, no staining, no fading. No. You see, where did I get that at? I got that at SWAT, at the Southwest Association of Turners. SWATURNERS.org. Yeah, go there, check out the site. It's a hotel town, it has a big football stadium. They play football later in the year over there. There's a river in the middle of the town, there's a nice convention center, there's a Hilton connected to it, there's 2 or 3 hotels across the street, 6 down the road. And here's the deal, you're not going to, you're going to have a car when you're there, or you're going to meet wood turners, like me and you, that you can get along with. You can go anywhere you want. The best barbecue place in the world is on the circle a few miles away. And when I go there, I see all wood turners. And across the street, they got restaurants and nightclubs and girly bars. No, girly bars. But all that is right there. It's in the center of Waco, Texas, which is like downtown backwoods Texas. And I hope you're not offended, Waco. That just means that you're a big enough city to be big enough to hold this, have a great convention center, and have nice people all come together for the benefit of wood turning. And if you go there and you come away with nothing, you're in bad shape. But I can go there and come away with a ton of stuff. I have my notebook, my recorder, my camera, and I steal ideas from everybody. Everybody. Because if you can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, it means you can do it. So if you're interested, I'll see you at SWAT. That's only a couple of weeks away. It's in Waco, Texas. I'll be there. I'll be there next year too. I'm already making hotel reservations. I'm cocky. All right? Well, I'm also Captain Eddie Castelin. Went through the list. I think I covered all. Oh no, I got one note. I'm sitting out on the front porch because I got a guy coming by to see me today. He's in town from East Chabib or wherever. And he's in town with the family. His wife lives here. His wife's family lives here. And he wants to come by and visit. You see the address? 330 Highway Drive. That's where I live at. It's in Old Jefferson. All right, it's in Jefferson, Louisiana. We call it Old Jefferson. Google Maps calls Old Jefferson something in Baton Rouge. But we're here in Jefferson, Louisiana. I'm 5 minutes outside of New Orleans. I'm here, and you come sit on a porch and chat with me. We can't go play in a shop right now. That's coming back. But in the past, I've had you just come by, we'll go play in a shop for a little bit. But if you want to chat, come on by and see me. If you need me, you can call me. If you can't call me, you can email me. All that information's on the back end of this thing, and I'm done. Alrighty, until next time, I gotta get out of here, because I'm Captain Eddie Castelin, and I'm supposed to be making chains. Take care, be good.